as mentioned earlier, our topic for today is speaking skills enhancement. All right. We Filipinos are already very blessed because English is a language that we can consider second language. All right. So even the Filipino alphabet is very similar to the English alphabet, unlike other countries such as South Korea. Their alphabet is a lot different. Wala silang, they don't have the L sound and the R sound, but so many words in English have the L and R consonants. So they can't pronounce it correctly. For example, they say, they say, I went for a work at the park. Okay, so yung walk, nagiging work kasi nakikita nila visibly yung L, di ba? So even though alam nila that the pronunciation is walk, they still mispronounce it because of how their alphabet is. All right, so speaking skills enhancement, before we move on with today's lecture, I will be discussing some objectives first. Okay. Objective number 1, to be able to organize information or answers in the speaking examination. Okay? I would like to remind everyone that the speaking subtest is an interview. It's a one-on-one interview. Most of you who are taking the computer-based test, you already know that it's going to be a virtual interview. When we say virtual, it's not face-to-face. It's you and a computer, but on the screen, you will be talking to an actual person. If you're going to book your examination here with us at Niner, all right? Well, that's a better option for you since mas malapit, it's more accessible, and you're already used to the place, okay? So now, you can answer the interview any way you want, but are you sure that your answers are all effective? Rule number 1, there are no wrong or right answers in the interview. Because IELTS interview is not an intelligence test. Hindi nito susukatin ang iyong talino. That's why don't be intimidated. But the IELTS speaking subtest will check how effective your answers are and how appropriate you answer those questions. So there is a certain technique and way on how you can improve your answers. But I don't want you guys to be technical about this. When I say technical, yung parang meron kayong kailangang sundin na format lagi. No, okay? You don't need to sound rehearsed. At number 1 na pinakaayaw ng mga examiner, yung kinabisado mo lang yung sagot. And I tell you, we know exactly when you're saying something that you've just memorized, and we can find the distinction between memorized answers and spontaneous answers. So obviously, the meaning of spontaneous is not memorized, okay? So when you're spontaneous, it means your answers are natural, they are genuine, and you thought of it, you generated the answer as the question was asked. Okay? All right. So that is one of the learning objectives for today's lecture. Okay? For you to be able to organize your answers in a certain way. Not a format, not a template, okay? Not memorized, but in a certain technique wherein you can be able to sound better and give information accurately, and most of all, more appropriately. Okay? All right. Second objective. Come up with an effective answer to questions asked in the speaking subtest. All right. When your answers are effective, it simply means that your answers are relevant to the question. Okay? So fluency is not about speed. Hindi porket mabilis magsalita, fluent na yung tao, okay? That's not how it is. Fluency is all about how appropriate your answers are to specific questions. Because maaring mabilis kang sumagot. You might have answered really fast. But are you sure that you understood the question 100%? That's why take it slow, right? The most effective way for you to improve your speaking subtest, your interview, is for you not to be too nervous and not to be in a rush. That's how effective your answers are going to be. When you are giving yourself time to think and to process the information before giving your answers. To be able to practice how to become a better speaker. Okay, so most of you here, the reason why you're taking the IELTS is because you're going to apply for a student visa or for a job abroad. And do you know why it's important for you to take the IELTS? Why is it important for you to pass the IELTS? What do you think is the reason? To communicate. Yes, because that's the English is a top international language. So you will be able to encounter different nationalities. It's difficult to learn. Like, for example, you have a coworker who is Albanian, a coworker who is Pakistan. You don't need to learn their languages, and they don't need to learn yours, because you have one common denominator, which is English. That's how we aid the communication within the workplace. And it's very important to communicate in the workplace, because miscommunications can lead to a lot of problems, not only the workplace, in all aspects of our lives. In school, in relationships, in the household, in the family, at the workplace, communication is very, very important. That's why we have these English proficiency examinations in order for you to check if your level of competency in language can be applicable sa country na pupuntahan mo. And are you gonna take a student visa? Am I right? Okay, it's also, there's a reason why academic tests are more difficult than the GT tests. It's because definitely you will be taking up another course. Am I right? So the means of communication is always in English, right? That's why it's very important for you to pass your IELTS exam. Okay, so there. Today, we're going to learn how to organize your answers, how to come up with effective answers, and definitely the main point of all of this is for you to be able to improve your speaking skills. Okay, here's a quick overview of the speaking subtest. So the listening, reading, and writing subtests will be done consecutively, meaning sunod-sunod yon. Okay? So now, yung modernong pamamaraan is you book the examination, all the IELTS subtests in one day. Before, hindi ganon. nung wala pang testing center dito. So I think the Pampanga or the Gupan, Baguio, those were the most popular testing centers, IELTS testing centers. But now we have it here in Cabanatuan. It's more convenient, and at the same time, isang araw na lang, one day, for you to be able to accomplish the whole set of exams. However, the speaking test is isolated. When we say isolated, nakabukod. All right? So now, why is it an isolated test? Because it will be scheduled in the afternoon. Okay? If you're going to get the first slot, second slot, it depends on the IELTS supervisor and invigilators that you will be having during your exam. But definitely, the listening, the reading, and writing subtests, they are done in the morning and they are done consecutively. No break in between. So that's a 3-hour session straight. And then from 12 noon up to 1 p.m., you have a break time. You can have lunch. Because, of course, don't take the exam in an empty stomach. It's very bad for you to be physically unprepared for any of those subtests. Okay? So, good news. The speaking subtest or the interview is the shortest test. As I mentioned earlier, listening, reading, writing, 1 hour each. But the speaking subtest, 15 minutes. Wow. It's a big relief, right? Because after eating lunch, you're just gonna wait for your time slot. So the time slot is always 1 p.m. Nung kami kasi nag-exam, 1 p.m., 1:20, 1:40. Tas talagang 20 minutes lang ang ano. However, I don't know sa inyo kung ganon. But that's just my experience. So 15 minutes is the maximum time that you can spend in the speaking room. That's it, 15 minutes. But if you finish your interview within 8 minutes or 8 to 10 minutes, that's not something to be happy about. It's actually something that you can conclude that you might have failed the exam. Okay? Why? Why is it that if you only take 8 to 10 minutes in the interview, there's a high chance for you failing it? Because the maximum time that you could do the speaking test is 12 to 15 minutes. Meaning you have exhausted all the answers, you extended your answers, you were able to supply substantial, malaman na mga sagot. But if you finish the test 8 to 10 minutes, it simply means that you were not able to expound your answers. You were not able to extend your sentences. Or the worst, na blank na lang siguro yung test taker. Okay? That's why we're going to teach you strategies and techniques on how you can prolong your answers. Okay? Lastly, it's important for nurses. But nowadays, hindi lang naman mga nurse ang gustong mag-take ng IELTS at gustong mag-abroad. There are a lot of other professions offered abroad. And of course, a lot of other students who are gonna take their, who are aiming for a student visa. Okay. Let's take a look at these photos. We have two men in gray. Men in gray, not men in black. Do you know the movie, Men in Black? All right, so men in gray. What pops up in your mind when you see these illustrations or these photos of these two men? What's the first thing that pops up into your mind? Okay, I need answers from online participants as well. I have here Carlo, Daisy, iPhone, Jenny Bell, Myra, Bert, Okay, one word to describe the images here. Let's start with Carlo. Carlo's answer is problematic. They look problematic. Do you agree? How about you, Joey? What's your answer? Empty mind? Empty brain? Napaka-judgmental naman sa empty brain. Okay, pero, oh, pwede rin. Hi! Welcome to the class. Come closer. Kasi konti lang tayo dito. Maraming nasa Zoom eh. Bakit kayo di naman pumasok? I'm just kidding. So we have Christian as well here, and we have Jeffrey. Welcome to the class. The question is, what pops up into your mind when you see these photos? Or when you look at their expressions? We have Bert, and he answered confused. Myra also answered confused, and Jenibel said stressed. O yung mga tenses natin, ha? Okay, depressed. Sabi naman ng Christian Jake, depressed. Kinda. Nakaka-depress naman talaga if makaka-4 ka lang sa one-on-one coaching natin, right? Okay. So, Vanessa, what pops up into your mind? You can't answer the same answers that they answered, ah. It has already been taken. How about other vocabulary words? This is a way for you to ilabas niyo yung mga tinatago niyong vocabulary. Importante ang vocabulary sa speaking subtest, guys. So, ang sagot naman ni Joey, empty mind. Or mental block. Okay, so we have Myra. Oh, this is a good word, Myra. Troubled. They seem to be so troubled. Okay, Vanessa? Yes? Shy. All right. Or embarrassed, shy, yes. One more from Vanessa. Sabi ni Vanessa na nasagot niyo daw lahat. Anxious. Anxious, nervous, hesitant, lack of confidence, right? All those words that were mentioned defines the exact way you feel when you're about to take the interview and when you're in the interview. Am I right? Yes, ma'am. I'm problematic. I can't come up with the right words. I'm so stressed. Hindi yun yung tanong na pinractice ko. Or, I'm so troubled because my grammar seems to be all wrong. Right? Ano na yung sagot mo, Jeffrey? Shy. Shy because fear, lack of confidence, yeah. Shy daw si Jeffrey because natatakot siyang ma-judge siya. But okay, we're not here to judge you or your skills. We're here to assess you, okay? That's the better term. Assess you so that you can improve your skills. Christian Jake, gloomy? Talaga? All right, they look gloomy. I guess because their suits are gray, that's why they're gloomy. Nakaka-gloomy naman talaga sa pakiramdam once you don't once you are not able to do well on your one-on-one coaching. So, sa mga Zoom participants, most of you, yung mga names nyo, hindi ko pa na-encounter. Like si Jenny Bell, Carlo J, Christian Jake. Hindi pa kayo nakakapagpa-coaching. So, I encourage you to attend the coaching session tomorrow. We have a coaching session tomorrow, okay? Okay. So, let's go back to this image. All your answers are correct. This is definitely how you feel when you first experience something. Try to recall the first time that you tried to ride a bicycle. Confident ka na ba agad? No, because you're afraid of falling, you're afraid of getting hurt. You're afraid of when it's your first time in your job, definitely takot kang masermo na ng boss mo, right? And that's how we feel when the experience is new or when we're not used to the situation. That's why we are always reminding you, do not take the test unless you were able to undergo at least 10 coaching sessions within your review period. Why? Kasi ang paulit-ulit na pagsalang sa one-on-one coaching, bibigyan kayo ng more familiarity. And when you start to become familiar with a situation, it gets less scary. Yung fear nagsasubside at napapalitan siya ng confidence. Am I right? If you compare your first one-on-one coaching session and then you compare it to your 10th one-on-one coaching session, you would definitely tell the difference. Wala lang kasi akong mga students dito na matagal nagko-coaching eh. I would have asked them. But I think I have, Myra, have you attended the coaching session several times already? Because I think your name rings a bell and I think I remember you. Oh, ibang Myra pala siya. Oh, okay. So hindi pa daw siya nakapagpa-coaching. You just enrolled last week. All right. So hoping to see you tomorrow. At meron din po kayong free computer mock test tomorrow. Okay, let's proceed. I already gave you an orientation last week and the few weeks ago that the speaking subtest will be graded according to your fluency and content, grammatical range, vocabulary and lexical resource, and pronunciation. Those are the 4 grading criteria in the speaking subtest. And we will discuss them one by one. Yeah, fluency and content, grammatical range and accuracy, vocabulary and lexical resource, pronunciation and delivery. Okay? All right. Let's talk about grammatical range and accuracy. So first of all, I would like you to know that grammar is not as important as the other grading criteria in the speaking subtest. In the speaking subtest only. Why? Because when you speak, hindi naman matatandaan lahat ng sinabi mo. As I said, tao ang mag-i-interview sa'yo. Most of the time, yung mga interviewer, matatanda na. They're old. Their memory is not that reliable. You know, when you get a little older, your memory is not that strong as it was when you were younger. Have you noticed that? Did you I'm so sorry. How old are you, Joey? How old are you, Joey? I'm 30. Oh, I think. And you, Vanessa? 25? 32. Oh, I'm the youngest in this room. Okay, no, I'm not. I'm already 31. But we know that yung memory natin, when we were much younger, in our 20s, it's different now that we're in our 30s. So my experience mo rin yan. Antay-antay ka lang konti. So, definitely, iba rin kapag when you're in your 40s and 50s. But of course, kung sinasharpen mo naman yung memory mo, hindi ganun kabilis yung pag-degrade. Okay? Kagaya ko, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, lecturer, I study every day. I read articles every day. I try to improve my vocabs every day. So, somehow, yung progreso ng memory ko, hindi siya ganun kabilis mag-degrade. Hopefully. Okay. Yun naman yung nakikita ko sa observation ko sa sarili ko, okay? So, yun. Ang matatandaan tatandaan lang talaga nila is yung last part na sasabihin mo, which is task 3. That's why I always tell my students, never neglect task 3. Kadalasan kasi, porket last task na yon, parang sige na, bahala na, ito na lang sasagot ko. Tapos parang tipid nyo na lang yung mga sagot sa task 3. Hindi ganon, okay? Kailangan, you have to treat every task as a special task. Hindi porket task 1 lang, warm-up questions, easy questions, kung ano-ano lang isasagot mo at gagalingan mo lang sa task 3. Kailangan consistent. But I also want to highlight the fact that hindi mo kailangan maging sobrang conscious sa grammar because your mistakes will not be recorded. Unlike in the writing subtest, you will be leaving evidences of your mistakes. Your punctuation mistakes, your spelling mistakes, capitalization mistakes, and grammar mistakes. Everything will be recorded on your output. Kung ano yung isusulat mo sa letter for the JTs, and essay, and writing task 1 and writing task 2 essay for the ACAD students. So, dun tayo tagilid sa grammar pagdating sa writing subtest. But dito sa speaking subtest, good news, because grammar is not as important. But it is important, okay? It's important. So you have to know your balance. I'm just saying, meron akong mga students na hindi naman sobrang galing when it comes to sentence construction, but they were able to pass the speaking subtest because they gave genuine answers, relevant yung mga sagot nila sa tanong, naintindihan nila mabuti yung tanong, so they were able to generate and supply contentful answers, okay? So as you can see here, can this person correct himself, herself, when she slips in grammar? Or are they unaware of the grammatical mistakes that they are making? When you make the grammar mistake during the interview, do you need to correct it right away? Halimbawa, nagkamali ka sa pronoun. You were talking about your grandmother, pero ang ginamit mong pronoun ay him or he. For example, the question is, talk about your family members, describe your family. I currently live with my grandmother. She's a wonderful lady in her 50s, in her 60s, and she used to be a public school teacher. He actually is also a businesswoman. O, di ba nasabi ko he? I will not repeat it. You don't need to repeat it because when you repeat it, you just highlight your mistake. That's why go on and correct yourself in the future sentences that you're going to make. So, ang nasabi ko, he is also a businessman, a businesswoman. She loves cats, and one of her favorite hobbies is cleaning the backyard. O, di ba? You forgot when I said he. Because in my preceding sentences, I use the correct pronoun. Okay? So there. You don't need to highlight your slips by repeating. He is also a very good businesswoman. No. She is also, wag ganon, okay? You don't need to do that. Can he, she speak in complete and accurate sentences considering elements of grammar? Okay. If you're going to attend our grammar lectures, we will teach you what are the sentences and fragments that you should be avoiding. Okay? So, always answer in complete sentences. A complete sentence has a subject and has a predicate. Hindi pwedeng one word or phrase lang. Pag kasi sinabing one word, hi, what's your name? Joey. Diba? Or, are you currently working or studying? I'm working. Kasi hindi mo naduduktungan. Working. Ganun lang yung usually sinasagot or studying. And then you have to make sure, I don't want you to bear in mind the number of sentences that you need to come up with. Pero ang ina-advise namin sa task 1 talaga, i-prolong mo na yung mga sentences mo. Try to make 3 to 4 sentences in one question. Why? If you prolong your answers, the chances are you will be asked less questions. Diba? Because there's only a time limit for each task. So, if you were able to supply 3 to 4 sentences for each question on task 1, baka ang maitanong lang sa'yo 4 questions lang. Right? But if you supply really short answers, that's when you will be asked more and more questions. All right? For example, hi, can you tell me your complete name? Good afternoon. My name is Shannen. You can call me Shan, as my friends also call me Shan. Or Shan is my nickname. Nice to meet you. Pwede ka naman din mag-nice to meet you sa kanila. It's nice. It's good to be kind and very approachable. And then the next question would be, are you currently working or studying? What if wala? Tambay ka lang. All right? So, you can, don't say none. Okay, usually kasi mga Pinoy, sanay sa word na none. None of the above. None of the above. Multiple choice pala. So, instead of saying none, you could say, I have recently resigned from my work because I am focusing on my application abroad. Ganon. Diba? Tama bang sabihin, yes, I am studying. I'm studying IELTS. Sa tingin nyo, is it okay to say that you're studying IELTS? Why not? Excuse me?
That's kind of your school of IELTS. The question he gave is too difficult.
Exactly. Listen carefully, Zoom participants. Should you say that you are studying IELTS? The answer is no. Okay? Why? Because you're just, tinitimbrehan mo lang yung examiner, nakapag-prepare pala to eh. Hihirapan ko ngayon yung mga tanong. Tingnan lang natin kung makakasagot. Minsan nagtitrip din yung mga, as I said, it really depends on the examiner kung anong trip nila that day. So, yeah. That's why when you step into the room, you have to show positive demeanor. When we say positive demeanor, smile. Okay? Huwag kang masyadong magpahalata na kinakabahan ka. I know kinakabahan ka, but then, smile. Turn your nervousness into excitement. Because when you do so, you show a positive energy. At sino ba naman I mean, when I took the exam, sobrang masungit. Like, poker face. He was not smiling at me, but I was smiling the whole time. Even though, ang unang sabi sa akin, can you show me your passport? Medyo lutang din talaga ako eh. So, eto yung monitor, di ba? Tapos, ganyan kahaba yung table dun sa speaking room. So, andun yung webcam, ang layo-layo. Tapos, yung password ko, ginanong ko. Sabi niya, I can't see it from there. Sabi gano'n. Sabi ko, oh my God. Ang tanga ko, Shannon. I was like that. And then, medyo na kinabahan na ako kasi parang sungit talaga ng tono. More masungit than my tono, ha. So, she was like, I can't see it from there. Wala na siyang sinabing come closer or anything. Basta sabi lang niya, I can't see it from there. Sabi ko, oh, I'm so sorry. Tapos nakangiti pa rin ako. Here, can you see it now? Gumanon lang ako. And then, I smiled all throughout, pero sa loob-loob ko, sobrang kinakabahan na ako kasi, ang sungit pala. Ganun. So the examiner is Escalana. You might have heard her name from Sir Kevin. He mentions her a lot of times because she's the examiner who is quite terrifying since she has a very poker face, and she seems really strict. Okay, anyway, don't answer in one word. Technically, because you are in an English proficiency test. This test or this interview is done to assess your communication skills. Kung sasagot ka lang ng one word, it just goes to show that you're not competitive enough as a communicator. Do you get it? So it's that simple. That's why you should always answer in complete sentences. Next, we have vocabulary and lexical resource. Minsan, may ugali tayo na gusto nating bida-bida. Gusto natin magpa-impress. Best foot forward. Pero hindi naman yun applicable sa lahat ng scenario because baka kasi kakapilit mong gamitin the very complex vocabulary words in English. You were able to use it in a wrong way or in a wrong grammatical structure. Okay? So that's why we are discouraging students from using words that are too extra or what you call highfalutin words. As an examiner, as your coach, alam na alam ko na yung level mo. I already know what your level in speaking is. From the moment you constructed your first sentence, I could already assess your level in speaking. Now, if you try to use highfalutin words, let's say low beginner ka. So we have beginner, low beginner, intermediate, beginner, low beginner, beginner, high beginner. And then we have low intermediate, intermediate, high intermediate. Then we have low advanced, advanced, and high advanced? Hindi, parang, basta yun na yun, yung third level. Now, let's say, ano ka sa category na beginner? Or, yun yung level mo. Okay, let's say. Now, you started using difficult words, such as bewildered, or humongous, enormous. I would be skeptical about it kasi hindi nagmamatch sa level mo. And the worst case scenario is nagamit mo siya sa maling konteksto. Okay? You were able to use it in the wrong context because your goal is to impress the examiner. Okay? There's a certain technique in order for you to improve your vocabulary. That technique is, do I need to read the whole dictionary in order for me to improve my vocabs? Do you think you need to read the long list in the orange book? Orange book, yellow book, I don't know what it is. But do you think you need to memorize all the words in the dictionary in order for you to pass the IELTS? The answer is no, you don't need. It's such a waste of time. Okay? There are thousands of words in the dictionary, and I don't think you can afford to study all those words. It's when you become too technical, it's also very energy dragging. Okay? So now, what's the technique? So in order for you to improve your vocabulary and lexical resource, anticipate the answers, the questions, and your answers. So alam naman natin sa task 1, ang mga posibleng itanong sa'yo is about your hobbies, probably about your educational background, your family, about vacation, about interests, about music. So, you're not going to memorize the whole dictionary. You're going to learn words and expressions that are related to the possible answers. Okay? Because one of the most frequent questions asked on task 1, describe your family. So, dapat alam mo yung mga words such as cousins, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, aunt, uncle, all right? Extended family, immediate family, dapat familiar ka sa words and terms na yan. Because alam mo that it will come out on task 1. Another word cluster that you need to know is about your hobbies. Isa ito sa pinaka-common questions that can come out on task 1. So, iba-iba tayo. Kasi ang hobby ko is makeup, all right? That's my hobby. My hobby is putting makeup on and hairstyling. That's my hobby. Hindi mo yun aaralin kasi hobby ko yun eh. Yung aaralin mong mga words, yung mga related sa hobby mo. Okay? What's your hobby? Listening to music. So you have to be familiar with words such as, what genre of music are you into? Pag sinabi natin genre, anong category? So what are the different genres in music? Rock, pop, K-pop. Ba't ka natatawa? Malay mo naman, mahilig si Jeremy sa K-pop. Pinagtawanan mo siya. Favorite niya daw, Blackpink. So, we have ballad, classical, folk music, slow rock, metal rock, rock, R&B. So you have to be familiar with those terms. Kasi baka biglang ang tinanong, what genre of music are you interested in? Anong genre pinagsasabi dito? Diba? Kaya nga tinatanong ko na kayo ng mga ganyang tanong during the interview para familiar ka na. Yun pala ibig sabihin ni ma'am. O ngayon, pag narinig mo sa totoong exam, yun, maisasagot mo na, right? So now, let's say, ang favorite mong genre is R&B. Be familiar with the R&B artists. So, kailangan ba ma'am magbanggit ng local artist or international artist? Pwede namang magbanggit ng local. But the thing is, medyo delikado because the examiner might not know the local artist. Kaya it's a safer answer to mention yung sikat na. Okay? Because if you mention a local artist, you have to describe it pa. You're gonna say, my favorite artist is Kaya Lili. Oh, they are composed of 5 band members. One of the vocalist of the band, he's so handsome, you know. Mga ganon, okay? So it's better, just mention Justin Bieber. Okay? Pero pakinggan yung mabuti yung tanong ha. Who is your favorite musical artist? Baka naman mamaya sabihin nyo Sylvester Stallone. Musical artist na ang tinatanong. Totoo yun, huwag kayong natatawa kasi meron akong estudyanteng ganon. Sabi ko, who's your favorite actor? Justin Bieber. Kailan pa nag-artista si Justin Bieber? He's a musical artist, right? He's not an actor. Okay. Now, kung nagdududa ka if naintindihan mo ba yung tanong niya or hindi, it's always okay to just say, can you please repeat the question? So, naiintindihan ba natin na hindi mo naman kailangan kabisaduhin yung buong dictionary? You just need to know and anticipate the questions that will come out and the answers that you are most probably going to provide. Kasi on task 1 naman, you're not gonna screw up. You're not gonna screw up on task 1 because all questions are related to you. Okay? You know yourself better than anybody else. Or meron ba ditong mga kailangan pang maghanap ng mga sarili? Tara sa Baguio. Sa mga naghahanap ng kanilang sarili, sabihin niyo lang, game ako mag-Baguio anytime. Bakit paghahanapin yung sarili sa Baguio talaga? Sige nga, sagutin niyo yung tanong ko na yan. Why is Baguio the best place to find yourself? It's relaxing? Why?
People rin,
The view and the aura in Baguio is very relaxing, right? Because the temperature there is actually cooler than the rest of the places in the Philippines. Am I right? But I've heard that hindi na daw ganun kalamig sa Baguio nowadays. Hindi na malamig sa Baguio, mas malamig na daw siya. Uy! Nalamig na eh, no? Okay, I'm just kidding. All right. Does this person use Philippine English? Ayan na nga. Ang kulit, sinabi na i-treat yung mock interview as a real interview. Ang daming makukulit na student. Ang sabi ko, pag start na sa interview, wala nang, ma'am, ano po? Ma'am, ano po? Mga ganyan. Ma'am, okay, you don't need to address the examiner as ma'am or sir. Because it's not a job interview. And it's not an intellectual interview. It's just as if you're talking to someone that you've met in the past. Tapos parang nagkita ulit kayo, hey, what's up? Ano na trabaho mo ngayon? Ganyan lang. So that level of professionalism, not too close, but not too professional. Like, hindi mo siya ititreat na parang i-interviewin ka for the job. It's just like a friendly conversation with the right amount of professionalism. Okay? Because still, it's an English proficiency test, right? Don't speak any Filipino language. Pero ma'am, paano yun? If the question is, what's your favorite food? As a Filipino, we all know that our favorite food is a local dish, which is sinigang or adobo. Right? I can't help it. Yun talaga yung favorite ko eh. So, okay lang po ba if I say sinigang or adobo? Well, kung nabanggit mo na, ano pa ba magagawa ko, right? Lumabas na sa bibig mo, sinigang. Now, if that happens, what should you do? Of course, you have to, don't change your answer. Nasabi mo na eh, sinigang. Oh, sinigang is actually a very delicious and popular dish in the Philippines. I-describe mo na ngayon. Kaso nga lang, mahirap. How can you translate sinigang in English? Sige nga, try nyo. Uy, parang narinig nyo na yan kay Sir Kevin. Narinig nyo na yan kay Sir Kevin?
oh, nabigyan siya. Ayun.
Pork stew with tamarind broth incorporated with very healthy vegetables such as radish, taro yun yung gabi, ladyfingers, okra, tomatoes, onion, string beans. Naglalagay ba kayo ng sitaw? String beans. Hatang di marunong magluto. No, I know how to cook sinigang. Huwag niyo ako i-judge. What else? What else do we have in sinigang? Spinach. Ano ba yung pechay sa English? Other leafy vegetables of your choice. Okay? It has a sour flavor and it is best eaten during rainy season. Okay? As it is served hot and It helps soothe. It's actually a comfort food, right? Okay, how about adobo? How can you describe adobo? You can choose between pork, chicken, or squid. Di ba? Kasi pwede rin naman yung squid adobo, right? Pusit. Yeah. Adobong pusit. Yeah. So adobo is cooked in a very traditional way. You just combine all the ingredients in one pot and let it boil. Usually you put soy sauce, vinegar, those are the main ingredients. And definitely you can't forget. O, di ba? Ang hirap. Bawang. Ano ba yung bawang sa English? Garlic. See, that's why you should not mention any Filipino word because you're just going to put yourself in a very difficult spot. That's why it's better if your answer is safe. My favorite food is pizza. Automatically, alam na nila yon. My favorite food is chicken, roasted chicken. My favorite food is beef steak. Steak. I like mine well done. Ganyan. Or else, my favorite food, utang na loob, huwag nyo nang isagot yung ice cream. Sagot na ni Sir Kevin yun eh. But yun, if that's really your favorite food, then I won't stop you. But then, ano mo yun, if masyadong common yung mga sagot mo, it doesn't stand out. Ako kasi yung person that I like to stand out, but that's it. But of course, if ice cream is your favorite, then go ahead. You can answer ice cream. Okay, does this person have the tendency to translate Filipino into English? So, ayun. Kailangan think in English so that you can speak in English during the interview. Now, let's move on to pronunciation and delivery. Magkaiba ang pronunciation sa accent. Okay? Unfortunately, ito yung pinaka-crucial na grading criteria ng speaking subtest. Pronunciation is the most crucial. Why? Because maraming miscommunication na nangyayari pag nagkakamali tayo sa pronunciation. Sobrang crucial ng pronunciation because with a single mistake in pronunciation, you can already be misunderstood. Okay? That's why pronunciation can hinder effective communication. Yung sasabihin mo lang naman, nag-enjoy ka sa beach, pero natawag mo pa siyang bitch. O, diba? That's different. Bitch and beach, okay? So you have to be able to pronounce those vowel sounds accurately, or else you're in trouble. Okay. Does the person put appropriate stress on words? Kailangan meron tayong nilalagyan ng stress sa bawat sentence. Hindi pwedeng monotonous or flat tone lang. Kasi boring pakinggan. Sa totoo lang ako, di ba 15 students ang kino-coach ko every time, like every Thursday. Nakakaumay na pakinggan yung iisa lang yung tono. I'm like, okay, let's get it done. Ganon. So, examiners din, isipin nyo, they've been examining, interviewing thousands of students in their lifetime. Only for you to come and answer in a monotonous way. Of course, lagyan mo naman ng kulay yung pagsagot mo, alright? I heard one of the testimonials of a student here at Niners. She was able to successfully enter Australia, even though she's a low beginner when it comes to her English skills. So she mentioned to me na nagpaka-genuine lang talaga siya sa mga sagot niya. And it was a dramatic interview actually. But because of the drama, because of the stress that she put into the words, she was able to get the passing band score that was required. Okay? So lagyan natin ng konting animation. Or maging excited ka. Show some enthusiasm when you're answering questions. All right? For example, the question is, can you describe a vacation that you went to with your family? Okay? Describe mo daw yung bakasyon na pinuntahan mo with your family, all right? So, a recent vacation that me and my family and I went to was a beach trip in Bolinao. That is a nearby beach. It's just a 4 hour drive. I don't know, 4 hour drive from here. It's just let's just say it's just a 4 hour drive from my hometown. The reason why we chose Bolinao is because of its beautiful stretch of white sand. O, di ba? 2 sentences na. Bolinao, ay 3 sentences na yon. My family went to Bolinao. It's a 4 hour drive from my hometown. We went there because of its beautiful stretch of white sand. That's already 3 sentences. Ngayon pwede mo pa yung dagdagan. And I want you to pay attention to the way I pronounce the words. The reason why we went to Bolinao is because of its beautiful long stretch of white sand. Hindi siya yung flat lang yung tone. Naglalagay ako ng stress sa words such as beautiful. Mga ganyan, alright? So your pronunciation and delivery is very important. Okay? Do they maintain consistent volume throughout the conversation? Okay. I always tell my students, speak clearly, speak loud enough. You are very blessed right now because the interviews are done virtually. Meaning, meron na kayong mic, may headset. Pero mas okay pa rin if hindi ka parang hiyang-hiyang sumagot. Okay, well, this is my answer. Hindi ganun, okay? Try to show more energy. Tapos, lakasan natin yung boses natin. Hindi naman yung point na sisigaw, alright? You just have to make sure that you're audible, you can be heard, and clear yung enunciation natin ng mga words and syllables, alright? Does the voice quality hinder effective communication? Ato, kung akala natin voice quality is not something that you need to consider, I tell you, voice quality is so important. That's why a week or a few days before your exam, don't party. Huwag ka munang mag-yes sa aya ng kumpare mo. Lalo na kung inuman. Kasi automatically, pag may inuman, may video ka. Di ba? So, if you exhaust your voice, pwede kang malatin during the exam. And I tell you, there are many test takers who failed because of paos. That's why pronunciation and delivery is very important. Na-delay ng 1 taon yung pag-alis niya because of that mistake. Ang galing niya. Magaling siya sumagot, matalino siya. Actually, ang taas ng binibigay ko sa kanyang score sa speaking. Kasi, alam na niya talaga lahat ng technique sa pagsagot sa interview. Pero sabi niya sa akin, nung hindi niya na-pass yung exam last year, nadismaya siya sa sarili niya. So, parang, yun, na-hurt yung ego. So, it took time for him to come back. So, ayun. Huwag yun nang i-delay, lalo na kung andyan na yung momentum, right? So, yes, your voice quality is really important. That's why I highly encourage the 24 hours before your exam date is the most crucial time. Yun yung araw na hindi ka na mag-aaral, hindi ka na magpapa-coaching, hindi ka na manonood ng kahit na anong material, magre-relax ka na lang. It's not just conditioning your mental health, but it's also conditioning your emotional health and definitely your physical health. Kasi magkakakonekta lahat yan. If you are affected with your physical health, it's a domino effect, di ba? That's why 24 hours prior to your examination is the most crucial time. That's why make sure that you're always relaxed and You got enough sleep before the examination. And during the examination, pag nandito ka na, don't forget, drink water, eat breakfast. Kasi mahirap din mag-exam ng gutom, okay? It will also affect your cognition, your brain cells. Okay. Nasubukan nyo na bang mag-mock test ng hindi pa kumakain ng kahit na ano? Di ba? How did it feel? Masakit sa ulo. What else? No energy. Short patience. Parang, mabilis kang mainis. Tuloy, hindi ka makafocus. Kasi nga, gutom ka. Right? That's why, akala ng lahat, hindi importante ang physical condition ng tao pag nagtitake ng exam, but it's actually very important. That's why, kung maririnig nyo sa mga dating lecture ni Sir Kevin, wag na wag kayong mag-e-exam sa Baguio. Okay? Kasi yung pagta-travel nyo, nakakapagod yun. You're gonna be exhausted. Kung marami kang pambayad sa booking ng rooms or Airbnb at magsistay ka doon ng 2 days bago yung exam, okay, good yun. Magbagyo ka, sige. Pero what if may makalimutan ka? Uuwi ka pa. Tapos ganun. Oh my God. So that is such a bad experience. Okay, we are going to have a speaking subtest overview. So, task 1, you will be asked personal questions. Wala kang kailangang kabisaduhin kasi you already know personal answers. You know what to say about your family. You know what to say about your previous job or your current job or what career path you have in mind or you're planning to pursue. You already know your likes and dislikes, your interests, your hobbies. So personal answers are ideas coming from your own personal experiences. Now, ma'am, paano pag tinanong, describe your family? Ang i-describe ko ba is yung parents ko or yung family ko ng asawa ko and kids? That's a very good question. Okay? Kasi, kadalasan, yun yung ikinakalito ng lahat. Ang i-describe ko ba is my marriage family or my parents' family? Your intermediate family is the one that you have to prioritize. Okay? If you're married, talk about your wife and your kids. You don't need to talk about other people or extended family. Your immediate family, once you're married or in a partnership, living partner, yun yung pag-uusapan natin. Ngayon, if single ka pa, like you don't have wife, husband, hindi mo na para, yun lang, yung family lang ng parents mo and mga siblings mo, if you have. If you don't have, then you can simply say, I'm an only child. Ganon, okay? So yun, wag nang malito pag tinanong, describe your family. Kasi, automatically, ang isasagot mo lang yung immediate family mo. Para sa mga single, i-describe ang parents and kids at para sa mga may asawa na, yung mga asawa at mga kids. Parents and siblings pala. Siblings, mga kapatid yan, okay? Ngayon, isa pa sa mga nagkakamali kayo lagi, gusto nyo bang sabihin kung pang ilan kayo sa pamilya, sa magkakapatid? Eh, ang hirap nun. Okay? Huwag mo nang gawin yon. You can simply say, I live with, my family is a big family. I have my parents, they're both alive. I have 5 siblings, 3 sisters, 2 brothers. So, we're a total of 8 members in the family, including me. Oh, ganun lang kasimple. Diba? Di mo na para sabihin, I'm the third. No, I'm the fourth. Mga ganon, okay? Tapos malilito ka pa. So just say, simply say, hindi naman na kami interesado para malaman kung pang ilang ka sa pamilya nyo, right? We just want to know if you can describe your family. And the best way to do that is mention your parents, how many siblings you have, mention how many are male, how many are female, sisters, brothers. And then yun. Now, if you have husband or wife, I'm already married. I've been married for 7 years. We are a very small family because as of now, we don't have any kids yet. But I do believe that in the future, we can but in the future, I'm dreaming of having a bigger family because bigger families are usually very happy and is mga ganun lang, okay? So, pwede rin namang I have 2 kids. My firstborn is 8 years old. My youngest is 2 years old. Yan lang. Firstborn, secondborn, yung mga ganyang terms, dapat familiar kayo. Kasi lalabas at lalabas yung tanong na describe your family. Okay? Another one is describe your hometown. So, ma'am, paano yun? Yung name ng hometown ko, Tagalog yun. It's okay. Right? Pag naman sinabing describe your hometown, you will really describe it. So first, you're gonna name it. Okay? So, describe your hometown. Cabanatuan City. My hometown is Cabanatuan City. It is located in the northern part of the Philippines. It's one of the most highly civilized cities in Nueva Ecija, as it offers a lot of job opportunities to people. It's actually a big place, and it's known for... Ano ba yung sikat sa Cabanatuan? It's a Filipino word though, tricycle. So, i-explain mo pa ulit yun, di ba? One of the most popular products that we have here in my hometown is... Yeah. It's called Cabanatuan sausage. Di ba yun sa English? Ano ba yung mga meron? Ba't ba kasi Cabanatuan pa yung sinagot ko? Di naman ako taga dito. Gapan na nga lang. So, yun yung mga i-mention nyo pag sinabing hometown. So, pwede mong i-describe kung nasan ba siya sa mapa ng Pilipinas. Sa northern part, the southern part, or probably you can say, kung masyado kang... Ako kasi technical akong tao eh. So, sasabihin ko pa, describe your hometown. I currently live in Gapan City, Nueva Ecija. So, Philippines has 3 regions. Tama ba? 3 regions? Ano tawag pag Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao? Hindi pala region yun. Okay. Philippines is divided into 3 parts: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Luzon is the one located in the northernmost area of the Philippines, and we live there in Luzon. My hometown is known for rice fields and the production of home slippers. Home slippers? Chinelas, di ba? Ang gapan. All right. And my hometown is semi-city and semi-countryside, as it is not as highly civilized as Metro Manila, except of the heavy traffic. But we already have a lot of establishments that are very convenient for the people. A lot of job opportunities are also continuously opening in my hometown. One of the most visited places in my hometown is our City Plaza, as it features a gigantic Ferris wheel. Ganon lang, okay? So, ang dami mo na agad nasabi, yun pa lang yung tanong, right? So, what are you supposed to describe? You have to describe what your hometown is known for, ano yung mga produkto ninyo, ano yung mga sikat na places sa hometown mo, di ba? So those are the things that you have to discuss when the question is describe your hometown. And try to avoid talking about politics. Yung mayor namin, kaaway yung mayor ng San Donato, mga ganon. Okay, don't mention those things, okay? Maintain highly positive energy and topics during the interview. You should not answer any religious answers and political answers. Why? It can cause conflict. Baka kasi ma-offend mo rin si examiner, iba pala yung religious views niya. So, iwasan natin yung ganun, okay? Let's try to be safe. This is a very good question, Carlo. May tanong siya. Okay lang ba na tapusin ko yung sinasabi ko kahit na nagtatanong na ng bago yung interviewer? No. Because ang senaryo niyan, magmumukha kang bastos. Halimbawa, you're talking and then I said, next question na. Siyempre, magsa-stop ka na agad, right? So, it's much better if you listen carefully to the next question para din masagutan mo yon ng tama. Kaya ka lang naman tinatanong ng panibagong tanong kahit hindi pa tapos yung una mong sagot is because nakuha na niya yung sagot na gusto niya from you. Kaya naman, tama na. Masyado ka na madadal. Yun yung ibig niya sabihin. Or probably, wala na rin kasing oras. Masyado ka nang mahaba yung sinasabi mo. So, may time limit din kasi eh. Kasi may next exam, may mga next pang magpapa-interview, right? So, yun. It's okay. Huwag ka na lang magsalita pag nagtanong na siya ng next. And then, focus on listening to his or her next question para makapag-supply ka ng tamang sagot. Kasi pag tuloy-tuloy ka pa rin nagsasalita, hindi mo maririnig yung tanong niya. At magkakaroon ka ng point deduction kasi nga hindi mo masasagutan yung next question. Okay? Intellectual answers. Yes, there will be some opportunities that you need to provide intellectual answers, especially sa task 3. That's why, lagi namin sinasabi sa inyo, you can never give what you don't have. So please, stay updated with current news or with current issues. Okay? So, makinig ng radio, manood ng TV, or you can stay updated with browsing the internet. If you want, you can read books, magazines, newspapers. Kung traditional ka pa rin tao, then you may do so, okay? But now that we're in the digital age, we're so blessed. Why? Because we have access to a lot of sources online, especially. So we have 3 types of speeches. We have memorized. Wait lang, ma'am. Kala ko ba bawal mag-memorize? Bakit may memorized speech? Okay. Hindi yun yung ibig kong sabihin dito, okay? When we say memorized, it's because sa task 1, alam mo na yung mga sagot doon. Alam mo na din yung mga itatanong. So, memorize mo na. Memorize mo yung name mo, memorize mo yung facts about your hometown, memorize mo yung family members mo, memorize mo yung interests mo, yung hobbies mo, yan, memorize mo yan. But ang hindi mo i-memorize, ang full sentences or yung templates. Kasi kailangan spontaneous ka lang. You shouldn't sound like you rehearsed what you're gonna say. Kasi kahit gaano mo pa i-memorize yung isang sagot mo sa task 1, lalabas at lalabas din yung level mo sa task 2 at 3. So, nagsayang ka lang ng oras sa kaka-memorize. Talaga namang hindi mo masasagutan ng memorize yung task 2 tsaka 3, di ba? Okay, so next we have extemporaneous. Extemporaneous speech is prepared speech, but the only preparation that you have is very little. So, usually, you will only be given a minute para mag-isip. Bibigyan ka naman ng scratch paper and a pencil to write down your thoughts. Pero hindi mo na rin kailangan kopyahin yung nasa screen, ha? You don't need to copy the questions because kung habang ongoing yung task 2, 1 minute to prepare, 2 minutes to speak. Naka-flash yung mga questions na yan sa screen. Hindi na yan mawawala. Okay? So, huwag kayong mangamba. Hindi nyo kailangan kopyahin. Ang kailangan yung isulat sa scratch paper ay yung mga key points na gusto mong i-discuss. Para kung sakaling makalimutan mo, ayan, nasa papel mo, ay, ayun pala yung sasabihin ko. 'Di ba? Yun yun. And don't ever forget to answer all the bullet questions in the task card. Ngayon naman, impromptu. Pag sinabing impromptu, no preparation, on the spot, ito yung task 3. Usually naman, the questions that are asked on task 3 are related to task 2 or a continuation. However, I am not saying na madali lang din ang task 3 because the questions that are asked on task 3 are actually questions that are constructed in a very unique way na para bang ang hirap intindihin. That's why you have to be very attentive sa task 3. Kasi yung mga tanong, parang hinirapan talaga yung the way ng pagtatanong. Pero actually, hindi naman mahirap yung tanong. Hinirapan lang nila yung structure ng question. Okay? That's why, in impromptu, you have to speak immediately. Wala nang 1 minute preparation. Pagkatanong, nag-generate ka na ng answer sa isip mo, and then answer na kagad. Kaya alam nilang kailangan nila ng coaching. Bakit?
First time, first time.
Dati, before the students were here at 7 a.m., 7:30. Because that time, mga 7:30, nauna pa silang pumasok sa akin. Because they were from Rizal, Nueva Ecija. So it took them like long time to arrive here. Okay. So there are 3 variations of speech. So we have informative speech, persuasive, and demonstration. You use informative speech when you're going to give information or you're going to state some facts. And somehow it tends to be a little boring, but you need this informative speech, especially when you're telling the interviewer facts about you and, the questions that are being asked. Persuasive speech, this is when, from the word persuade, ibig sabihin nun sa Tagalog, hihikayatin. So when the questions are about agree or disagree, so you will take one side, whether you agree or disagree. Now you have to stick with that, and you have to persuade the examiner why you chose that side. Okay? So, it is a little bit difficult to make a persuasive speech, but if the question that comes out is, do you agree or disagree? You don't have any other choice than to use the persuasive speech. Okay? Now, the demonstration speech is when you are demonstrating a specific scenario or a specific activity. Okay? So for example, describe your house. I-demonstrate mo ngayon i-describe mo yung house mo. So it's more descriptive. Now, another thing about demonstration speech is when you're introducing an activity that is not commonly known, so you also have to give more intricate details. Mas detalyado yung sasabihin mo dito. Okay? But you have to prepare yourselves with all these different kinds of speech because it really depends on the questions that will come out. So, di ba, sa pag tinanong yung describe your hometown, that's when you can use the demonstration speech. Because you are giving out instructions. Oh, like you can say that there are malls in the center of the town. There are also colleges and universities. Hindi ko lang alam kung saan. Isa lang kasi dun sa Gapan City eh. Gapan City College. But dito sa Kabanatuan, marami, right? Okay. So next, let's talk about confidence. When learning how to think on your feet, when you are presenting information, giving an opinion, or providing suggestions, make sure that you know what you're talking about. When you translate your thoughts and ideas into coherent speech quickly, you ensure that your ideas are heard. You also come across as confident, persuasive, and trustworthy candidate. I know most of you came to this review center, you are not confident with your communication skills. Am I right? And most individuals actually start from zero when they come here. But of course, we will not allow you to step into the speaking room or into the interview if you are not confident. Okay? That's why, huwag kang magpa-pressure if sabi ng employer mo, etong date, kailangan mo makapasa na, kailangan mo na agad ng results. Kasi, I mean, kung ikaw sa sarili mo, hindi ka pa sure, hindi ka pa confident na kaya mo, you have to evaluate yourself. Okay? Kasi confidence is not built overnight. It takes experience in order for you to build your confidence. And if you don't keep experiencing the same scenario, the same activity again and again, how can you build your confidence, right? As mentioned earlier, at least 10 sessions. Kung nagmamadali ka, siguro pwede na din yung 5 sessions. But if you know to yourself that ito yung level mo at kailangan mo pa ng more time, then might as well spend more time. Yung validity naman ng review ninyo is 1 year. It's a 1-year validity. So, naiintindihan ko naman yung ibang universities, they're requiring you to enroll sa ganitong semester. Yung mga employer nyo naman, sinasabi na kailangan na nila yung ganitong staff. They need you sa job and stuff like that. But the thing is, if they're going to sponsor your retake, okay lang naman na i-fail mo yung first exam. Pero kung hindi naman nila i-sponsoran yon and the money will come from your pocket, that's where it gets problematic. Kasi ayaw mo naman magsayang lang ng 13.2, right? I mean, it's not, but yeah, it's a big chunk of your money, your earnings, your savings, or whatever. So, plus yung effort mo pa. But there's nothing wrong if you fail. Failure is part of life. Just try again, okay? And I believe, kasi yung confidence, for me, it's not something that you easily build in yourself. It really takes a lot of, sometimes years pa nga, to build confidence. Or certain experiences build confidence. When you're exposed to experiences, you build confidence. Okay, now let's move on. The first thing that you have to do when you are about to enter the interview room is you have to relax. There are many health benefits. There are many benefits of being relaxed. You can think straight. You can generate more better answers. You can come up with lengthier sentences when you're relaxed. Hindi naman kailangan magmadali, all right? When you're talking, when you're providing an answer, you don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to speak fast. Take your time, calm down, relax. Now, how can you calm down? Of course, you have to take deep breaths. Hingang malalim. You would always hear this kapag may taong ninenervyos or nagpa-panic attack or nag-anxiety attack. Nakakita na ba kayo ng taong nag-anxiety attack? I've already seen someone. The first time that I saw someone having an anxiety attack, I was quite shocked because I didn't expect it to be that bad. It's actually really bad. A person who has an anxiety attack seems like there is an underlying health condition, but according to the nurse, she explained that the reason why the person is trembling, feeling nauseous, and kapos sa hininga, it's all here because of anxiety, right? That's why it's called anxiety attack. So, that person na nakita ko nag-anxiety attack, as in, ang lala ng symptoms niya, and then, ang sabi lang sa kanya ng nurse, inhale and exhale. Binigyan din siya ng oxygenation. Pero, it's all about you controlling your mind and your body. Because when you control your mind, your body follows. Whatever chaos there is here in your mind, your body follows. So you have to relax. Take deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Now, give yourself a positive, affirming message. I understand we grew up in a culture kung saan sa family pa lang natin, hindi na masyadong affirming ang language ng family members. Kasi sanay tayo sa prangkahan. Mga Pinoy, di ba? Bobo mo, tanga-tanga mo, mga ganyan, right? Even sa household natin, we hear those words. At akala natin there's no effect, but it actually has an effect. It damages your self-image. And when your self-image is damaged, your confidence level is very low. Right? That's why kung walang nagbibigay sa'yo ng words of affirmation or positive words, you give it to yourself. Okay? When you wake up in the morning, go in front of the mirror and give positive words to yourself. Uy, gwapo ko today Parang fresh ko today. Mga ganyan. Or, you're smart, you can pass the exam. Actually, words can be manifested. Do you believe in manifestation? Because the energy that you give is the energy that you attract. So if you keep saying, hindi ako makakapasa, hindi ko to kaya, yun din yung energy na ina-attract mo. I don't know the technicalities of manifestation, but the only thing I know, totoo ang manifestation. When you keep declaring positive things in your life, I'm sure one day it will happen. Okay? Because it all starts with the way you think. The way you think becomes your words. Your words becomes your actions. Your actions become a habit. The habit becomes a lifestyle. At magugulat ka na lang, you're living the dream. Parang gusto ko yun sabihin sa sarili ko. Okay, that's a little pep talk. Pero totoo naman, it all starts with the way you think. That's why you should always give yourself words of affirmation. You don't need to rely on anybody else to do it for you. Wala nang sisihan kung talagang dun ka lumaki sa pamilyang ganun magsalita. What's important is now. What can you do now to alter the situation, to build your own confidence, all right? So ako, I used to be very timid when I was young. Hindi ako confident as in zero. Why? Because I grew up in a situation na parang very discriminated ang mga Pilipino. Because I grew up abroad, and my mom is a DH, was a DH, and we lived in a household na ganun yung tingin sa mga Pilipino. So I grew up with a lot of insecurities. Nung uwi ako sa Philippines, that's when I started becoming confident because na-realize ko, this is my home. This is a place where I can be treated equally. Ganon. Kasi totoo yun, matindi talaga ang discrimination abroad. Now, I'm hoping na hindi na ganon. But yeah, in the 90s, it was. So, yun. Another technique is clench invisible muscles. So, don't clench your fist. Kasi kita, etong level na to, akala ko nga dito lang kita sa video eh. Pero kita pala yung ganito, pati yung hands mo, kita sa video. So, if ever man, you're clenching your muscles like this, don't do that, okay? Kasi parang mananapak tayo ng pag ganun eh. Don't clench your fists, okay? What you have to clench is your invisible muscles. Your thighs, yung hita. Your biceps, you can clench it. And your feet. Just to release a little tension, alright? Kasi, alam ko naman na when you're in that room, kahit na ilang beses namin sabihin ni Sir Kevin, relax ka lang, kalma ka lang. But, of course, hindi mo na makakontrol kung ano man yung emotions mo on that very day. That's why, kung wala ka na talagang magawa, ito yung mga tips. Inhale, exhale. Think of positive words. And definitely clench invisible muscles. Okay? Do you have any questions? All right. So the first tip is to relax. The second tip is listen. Okay? Make sure na naiintindihan mo 100% yung tanong. If there is a certain moment of uncertainty, kung magkaroon man ng chance na medyo alanganin yung pagkakaintindi mo sa tanong, don't be shy to ask for repetition. Simply say, can you please repeat the question? My test taker, nakapasa siya. Kahit pa ulit-ulit niyang tinatanong, can you repeat the question? Why? Hindi niya hinayaan na magkamali siya ng isasagot. Okay lang yun. Okay? It's okay if you ask the question to be repeated repeatedly, to be repeated again and again, okay? So, at least, you're making a conscious effort na huwag magkamali sa isusupply mong sagot. Because that's very important. Yung content ng sasabihin mo, the way you deliver it, and the relevance of your answers to the questions. Automatically, yung relevance at yung content, bagsak na if nagkamali ka ng pagkaintindi sa tanong. So, listen carefully. Okay? Also, isa pang tip, may keywords kasi yan. May mga examiners, sasabihin muna nila, now, let's talk about your daily routine. O wala pang tanong, sasabihin na nila, let's talk about your daily routine. O may idea ka na agad. Nag-generate ka na, you're already generating the things that you're about to say. So you're already enlisting those ideas in your mind. So once the first question is asked, you already know what you're going to say. Okay? For example, the first question is, what do you do in the morning? Okay? So what do you do in the morning? Alam mo na yun. You can simply answer what you do in the morning. So when the questions are being asked, you have to listen to the keywords. You have to listen to the prompt. Yun yung prompt. Yung, now, let's talk about daily routine. Or now, let's talk about your hobbies. May mga examiner kasi na ganon. ibig sabihin helpful sila. Pero hindi ko naman sinasabing lahat. Don't raise your expectations. But still, you have to be laser focused in all the questions that are being asked. May mga pagkakataon din naman na kapag terror talaga yung nag-interview, pipigain ka niya talaga. Like, sasadyain niyang pahirapan pa yung mga tanong. That's why you have to, even though nakaka-distract yung mga ganon, you still have to stay focused, okay? Have the question repeated. Okay. Sabi ko kanina, you have to you have to memorize one thing, which is the question. Can you please repeat the question? Wag, hindi maganda kapag sinabing, sorry, what? Okay, that's very informal. Sorry, what? Wag din pardon. It's just safe to just say, can you please repeat the question? Okay? And of course, always make sure that you're courteous when you're asking. Huwag yung galit ka, ikaw na nga hindi nakarinig, galit ka pa, okay? So, be very cautious. Meaning, be kind, be polite, smile. Can you please repeat the question? Hindi yung, can you please repeat the question? The tone is very important, okay? When you're asking for repetition, you have to make sure that you are doing it the proper way. Could you say it again, please? Pwede naman ganun. Laging may please. Okay? Ayan. Okay, let's talk about the stall tactics. As I said earlier, very important. Now, once the question is being asked, you provide a prompt answer. When we say prompt, ibig sabihin immediate, mabilis, or agaran. Okay? Okay lang yon. Because nag-generate mo naman na yung mga sasagot mo the moment na tinatanong pa lang. However, it says here, don't just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind. Lalo na if the question is, what's your favorite food? Ang una mong naisip, sinigang. Hindi mo yun sasabihin, pag-iisipan mo muna, kapag ba ang sinagot ko sinigang, mahihirapan ba ako dito or hindi? Kaya, papalitan mo ngayon to an easier answer, which is roasted chicken. Now, ang isasagot mo lang ba, roasted chicken? No. Of course, add more to that. My favorite dish is roasted chicken. I like pairing it with rice, as rice is one of the staple food in my country. Inaantok na siya. Okay, I think you guys need 1 hour pa kasi ata ito eh. 1 hour pa. What time is it? Actually, I only got 3 hours of sleep. I couldn't sleep last night. Here. What did you get? It's coffee, actually. It's good, right? Bigay siya na lang yung bayad. Joke lang! I'm just kidding. All right, so narrow your focus. This brings the question down to a manageable scope. Okay. So, sometimes, ang isang magandang technique, if hindi mo isasagutan ng diretso yung tanong, pwede mo naman gawa ng intro. Okay? For example, the question is, describe a kind neighbor. Ang intro dyan, na pwede mong gamitin, you can say, I live in a very big neighborhood. However, most people no longer go out of their houses anymore, so we don't get a chance to socialize. But there is this specific neighbor that I am very close to. Her name is Anna. O diba, nilagyan ko ng konting intro. Habang gumagawa ka ng intro, nag-iisip ka na rin, ano ba yung susunod na sabihin ko about kay Anna? So Anna is a very kind old lady that lives across the street. She lives with her grandchild, a 7-year-old girl. Unfortunately, she lost her parents due to a car accident, mga ganyan. So Anna and her granddaughter live alone. What are the qualities of Anna? Anna is already 70 years old, but she has a small business, and her small business is actually their livelihood. I consider her as one of my kindest neighbors because, magbigay ka na ng reason. She always offers some pastries. She loves baking, so every time she bakes, she would share some of her pastries with us. Anna is also known for her generosity. Whenever I am financially unstable or whenever I need to lend money from Anna, she would always say yes and grant me my request. She never complains and she's not strict in asking for the payment again. In fact, she just waits for me to pay whatever I borrowed from her. I could say that Anna is a very smart woman because Anna used to be a school teacher. Di ba? So, ayan, describe mo si Anna. She is kind, she's generous, she is smart. So, kung mapapansin nyo, sa bawat qualities na sinabi ko about kay Anna, nagbigay ako ng reason and example. So, ganun nyo i-expound yung task 2. Okay? So, yun. Speak in a slower pace. Because when you speak in a slower pace, you can think of more ideas. Okay? Tsaka mafi-filter mo rin yung you can filter whatever you want to say. Minsan kasi, kapag nagmamadali ka, you tend to make a lot of mistakes. You say things that you wish you didn't said, right? Okay, stick to one point and one supporting piece of information, especially if the question is, do you agree or disagree? Pili ka lang, sa speaking, pipili ka lang ng isa, kung agree ka. You have to support it with reasons, and then you have to support it with examples. And hindi yung tipong nag-disagree ka na, tapos maya-maya mag-a-agree ka ulit. Mali yun. Kailangan stick to one lang yung sagot mo. So, wag pa bago-bago, be consistent, and of course, focus on your answer. Panindigan mo na lang yung sagot mo na yun. Okay, task 1 is the very first task among all the tasks in the interview. Tatlo lang naman yun. We only have 3 tasks. Task 1, again, these are the questions about you, personal questions. Task 2, it's like an extemporaneous speech. You will be given 1 minute to prepare. You will be given a task card first, and then you will be given a minute to prepare your answers. And after that, 2 minutes maximum time to speak. So, kailangan makapagsalita ka within 2 minutes. If you exceed 2 minutes, the examiner will interrupt you. Pero siguro pag 2 minutes and 30 seconds, okay lang yun. Pero kapag sobrang haba na, the examiner will actually interrupt you. Okay? Right. Always remember that on task 1, even though hindi na to yung pinakamaalala ng examiner, first impressions always last. So building a good rapport by smiling and showing positive energy during the interview is very important. So, kailangan ngitian niyo yung examiner. Magkaiba yung ngiti tsaka tawa ha. Baka kasi akalain ng examiner you're not taking it seriously. Okay? Don't laugh at the examiner, especially if there's nothing funny. Alright? You have to just keep a positive demeanor, but yung tamang amount lang naman. Huwag naman yung OA na. Kasi, you know, we don't like overdoing things in IELTS. Know what to expect. Task 1 questions will revolve around you. What is your name? Are you working or are you studying? Do you live in a house or in an apartment? Okay? So, dapat alam niyo yung mga words such as, I live in a bungalow house, or I live in a 2-story house. I live in an apartment, a flat. What else? What are the other words related to house? Spacious. Words such as spacious. Our living room is very spacious. We have a backyard, or you have a front yard. Do you have a veranda, a porch? Yung mga ganyang words, okay? Roof deck. Mga ganyan, okay? Ang itatanong din sa'yo, after nung do you live in a house or an apartment, ang itatanong sa'yo, what's your favorite room? So, dapat alam mo yun. And, isa sa mga tinanong kasi sa akin, what are your favorite features in your house? Anong isasagot niyo pag yun yung tanong? What's your favorite feature in your house? Joke po ba yun? Ang sasagot daw ni Joey, family feature. Okay. So yes, what you're going to do is you're going to explain what is your favorite feature in your house. We have an infinity pool. Uy, social, infinity pool. That's my favorite feature of our house. Hindi, joke lang. Ako kasi ang sagot ko, my favorite feature in our house is our indoor plants. Mga ganun. Sabi ko kasi, as you know, sabi ko, my favorite feature in our house is our indoor plants. I work from home most of the time, so I usually stay home. We need fresh air and right amount of oxygen every day, and I believe those plants don't only decorate the house, but they don't only add to the aesthetic, but they're also helping me. Parang may sabi ako about health, something like that. That's why the indoor plants are my favorite features of the favorite feature of our house. Tapos sinanong naman ako, what's your favorite room in your house? Well, my favorite room in our house is definitely our living room. Our living room has a big flat screen TV and a video key setup. It's actually customized because I love singing songs in the video key. That's why we have that setup in our house, and it's actually very useful when we have visitors because our visitors always enjoy watching movies or having video key sessions at our house. That's why that's my favorite room in our house. Diba? Pwede namang bedroom din. Natatawa ko sa isang estudyante. Tinanong ko siya, what's your favorite room in your house? Ma'am, isa lang po kasi yung kwarto. Yung bahay namin. Sabi niya gano'n. Sabi niya, so, definitely, yun lang daw yung favorite niyang room kasi isa lang naman daw yung room. Tapos, okay, that's acceptable naman, yes. Okay? So, ayan yung mga tanong na i-expect natin sa task 1. Name mo, nickname. Especially, I always ask the question, how can I call you? Diba? Hindi yung tatawagan kita sa cellphone mo, ah. How can I call you? Meaning, ano nickname mo? How can I address you? How can I call you? Pero yung address kasi iba yun eh. Address you is like, Mr., Miss, pag sa lalaki, Mr., Sir, how do you want me to address you? Or probably kung mas matanda yung kausap mo, can you tell me how old you are? I would like to know how I can address you. Ganon. Kasi sign of respect yun. That you want to address the person appropriately. But sa IELTS, hindi naman kailangan. Your interviewer is just gonna ask you, how can I call you? Meaning, you're just gonna give your nickname. Okay? Ano ba yung mga task 1 questions? Likes and dislikes, past experiences, present condition, future plans. Kaya very important na familiar tayo sa verb tenses. Kasi baka ang tinanong sa'yo, past, ang isasagot mo, present. Ang tinanong sa'yo, present, tas ang isasagot mo, future. You have to be careful when you're listening to the question. Kasi, madalas, may lumalabas sa tanong such as, tell me about a recent vacation that you had with your friends. Tapos ang gagamitin mong tense is, I would like to go to. Future tense yon. Ang tanong ko, tell me about a recent vacation that you had with your friends. Meaning, sa past. Ngayon, ang isasagot mo, past tense din. Hindi yung gagawin mo pa sa future. Alright? So you have to be careful with verb tenses. Hobbies and interests. You know yourself better than anybody else. You already know what your hobbies are. Again, ano hobbies mo, Vanessa? On Netflix. Alright. Kung ang hobby niya, watching movies on Netflix, kailangan familiar ka sa vocabulary. Such as, my favorite genre is psycho and whatever. Ano ba? Romance. Rom-com. Rom-com or psychological movies or suspense. Mga ganyan, okay? At kailangan alam mo rin yung difference ng drama, series, movies. Okay? And then, ano ba ba? I-explain mo kung why you're interested in those things. Okay? How about you? What's your hobby again? Listening to music. So you have to know words such as genre, yung musical artist, kailangan yung sikat na ha, wag na yung local kasi mag-e-explain ka pa dun eh. So magpanggap ka na lang na favorite mo si Justin Bieber. What is your hobby?
Basketball.
Playing basketball. All right, so if you're going to mention that your hobby is playing basketball, you have to try to know what are the words related to basketball, such as half court, mga ganun. We have a half court in our street. Di ba ganun naman usually sa Pilipinas? And then I play basketball with my childhood friends or my high school friends. Mga ganyan. Ngayon, i-explain mo pa nakasali ka sa liga. Mga ganon. Actually, in our village, wag barangay hindi nila maintindihan yung word na barangay. Village ang gagamitin natin. In our village, we have a basketball league every summer. I joined the basketball league because I wanna showcase my talent in playing basketball. Mga ganon, okay? Be careful with the words that you're gonna use. Wag barangay, wag liga. It should be English, all right? Okay, coherence. Okay, coherence is about how organized and how clear your answers are. Ibig sabihin, wag paligoy-ligoy. Give direct answers. Okay? At saka, nakaka-affect sa coherence mo yung marami kang fillers such as Yung mga ganun. Tsaka yung mga like. Minsan kasi nagiging filler din yung, I just wanna like go there and like do this and like do that, mga ganun. So, yung mga words na repetitive, like, yung mga words na ganun. Yeah. It sounds very informal and it reduces the coherence or organization of your answer. Kaya iwasan natin yun, okay? Pwede naman maggamit ng in the beginning. Example, the question is, ano ba yung mga usually tinatanong sa task 1? What do you usually do on your leisure time? Leisure time means free time, okay? So what do you usually do on your leisure time? Doon, pwede mong gamitin sa umpisa yung, I do a lot of activities in my leisure time because I don't like wasting time. So when I got free time, I would usually clean our house or organize the clothes, mga ganun. But when I feel a little lazy, I would just lay in bed and browse my phone. Ay, ganun. Real talk. Yun lang naman talaga nangyari. So, yan. Para maiwasan yung kaka-fillers ng tsaka kailangan dahan-dahan lang yung pagsasalita para nakakapag-isip pa kayo. Okay? Alright. Vary your tone and pay attention to how the message will be perceived. Very important ang tone. May mga students kami na medyo galit lagi eh. So, paalala, always maintain a positive demeanor during the interview. Hindi pwedeng galit ka or yung tono mo medyo mataas, okay? Remember, you have to stay courteous and very kind towards the examiner. Use eye contact appropriately. Okay, lagi kong sinasabi, make eye contact with the examiner. Huwag yung tingin ng tingin sa taas or sa gilid, sa mga gilid or sa sahig. Minsan kasi ganun eh. Kasi parang you're shy and kinakabahan ka. But the thing is, you have to look. Because when you are making eye contact, mas genuine yung dating ng sinasabi mo. And when you're making eye contact, you're interacting with a person. And there's what you call connection, right? And the connection makes the interview more interesting. Ayaw naman natin na mabore yung interviewer habang kausap tayo, right? Kaya bukas, pag nagpa-coaching kayo, galingan nyo. Papakita ko na talaga yung totoong emosyon bukas. Kung talagang naboboring ako sa mga sagot mo or what. Parang mga realizations kayo. Or if nakapagpa-coaching na kayo kay Sir Kevin, ipapakita niya talaga sa inyo yung emotions niya. Kapag di niya nagugustuhan yung mga sagot. Di ba? He's actually very straightforward. Okay, so next. Yung grammar. Isa to sa mga this is one of the most important reasons why coherence is affected. So your grammar is not as important in the speaking subtest as it is in the written subtest, but kung maraming pagkakamali sa grammar, kapag na-accumulate na yon, dun talaga affected yung organization, di ba? Kahit sino naman eh. If the examiner can't understand anymore what you're saying because of the lapses in grammar, it will really affect your score. Okay? So, please, marami namang mga grammar lectures. If you want to watch replay videos, you can watch replay videos on YouTube. And then you can also access a lot of grammar materials on YouTube or online so that updated or ma-refresh kayo. Kasi syempre, yung grammar, pinag-aralan ninyo yan nung high school pa, nung elementary pa. So, kailangan natin ng refresher ng konti. use the appropriate level of formality. Ibig sabihin yan, hindi masyadong formal, hindi rin masyadong casual. Just find your balance. Kasi pag masyadong formal, baka naman you might sound like you're writing a letter. Hence, may pag ganun-ganun ka pa, speaking activity to, di ba? Ay, speaking task to, hindi to writing. Yung mga however, furthermore, hence, yung mga ganyang transition words, ginagamit lang yan sa writing. Dito sa speaking, pwede namang hindi ganun ka-formal. Okay? Know the following facts about yourself. Your name, ewan ko na lang talaga pag may nagkamali pa sa name. Pero natatawa ako dun sa isang student, ano? Example lang naman to, at di ko na rin matandaan yung name niya. Pero, tinanong ko siya, "Hi, can you tell me your name, please?" Tapos sobrang kaba niya, sabi niya, "Hello, my name is Mark Anthony, but you can call me Mark." Oh, no, you can call me Anthony. Nalito pa siya kung anong gusto niyang itawag sa kanya. So, just make up your mind, okay? Huwag mo nang lituhin si examiner. Just say, you can call me Mark. Alright? Makoy. You can call me Makoy. Wag naman Makoy. Wag naman yung mga Filipino nicknames. Yung mga English nicknames lang naman. Alright? Of course, you know your work. Kung nagtatrabaho ka or not. Residence. Meaning, saan ka nakatira? Yung hometown mo. There's no need for you to give your entire address. That's not necessary. Kailangan aware ka din about shopping. Do you like shopping? How often do you shop? Na ganyan. Kailangan you know about leisure activities. What are the leisure activities yung mga kaedaran natin? Traveling. It's a leisure activity. What else? Ba't natawa ka sa kaedaran? Ilang taong ka na nga ulit? 32. Yeah. Same age lang. I mean, I'm 31, 32, 30. That's 20. Siya lang yung medyo nalalayo. Yeah, so anyways, what are the leisure activities that people in their 30s do? Natatawa kayo kasi ang sagot nyo, drinking. Ano, tama ako, di ba? Sinabi sa akin yun ni what's his name again? Si Amang?
Victor.
Si Victor. Nagchika siya sa akin. Sabi niya, after daw ng class, may mga inuman session daw. Is it true? Anyways, so isasagot niyo ba talaga yun sa exam? One of the leisure activities is drinking. Pwede rin naman. Sabihin mo na lang, occasionally. Para naman hindi impression sa'yo, lasinggero. Ganun. Sometimes when my friends invite me to a party, we drink. It's a very common leisure activity in the Philippines. Alam din naman niya yun kahit di niyo sabihin. Pero kung gusto niyo lang naman ng maging genuine yung sagot niyo, then why not, right? Wala namang masama sa pag-inom, especially if it's just occasional. It only gets bad if it's an addiction already, right? Time spent on the internet. Ito, isa din to sa mga very common topics. How often do you use your phone? How many hours do you spend on your phone? Grabe sa 24/7. Pero it's really addicting. It's just that you have to know when to stop. Okay, pets. If you have pets, you can talk about your pets. Favorites. Yung mga favorite food, favorite activities, favorite music artist, favorite actor or actress. Ano pa? Favorite. Yeah. Hindi naman siguro itatanong, what's your favorite color? Hindi naman. It's a nursery question. It's not a professional question. Okay. Don't worry, we will be giving out the handouts. So, hindi nyo naman kailangan kabisaduhin yan. But these are the most common questions. What is your full name? Can I have your name, please? Could you tell me your full name, please? What shall I call you? How can I address you? Does your name have any special meaning? Is your name important to you? Do Korean people like changing their name? Why? Have you ever changed your name? Why do so many people change their names? Do you work or study? What are you studying? What's your major? What's your major? Yan yung, ano nyo, yung, if it's nursing, if it's banking and finance, accountancy, why did you choose that subject? What do you find most interesting about your course? Ayan, these are the questions that you need to be familiar with. You have to expect. Work-related questions. Can you describe your job to me? Can you describe your job to me? My job is in the education sector. I am an English teacher. In fact, I have 2 jobs. Pero hindi ko na dapat banggitin na IELTS yung isa kong job kasi hihirapan yung tanong. One of my jobs is in the teaching industry, in the education field. I teach foreign students English. As a language teacher, it's not easy to handle different kinds of students, but for me, it is a very fun activity as I get to interact and engage with different people every day. My other job is I own a small business. It's actually a delivery business. We deliver food and different parcels door to door in our hometown. It's also a very fun job because you get to help your fellow neighbors and the people in the community to have a convenient life. Ganun. Okay? But it's true. I do have a delivery business. Ako yung owner ng Food Panda. Food Panda! Joke lang. During the pandemic kasi, there was bawal lumabas, right? So, my friends and I, we came up with a delivery business. So, ito siya. Can you see it? So, sa Tagalog, cartero. Cartero means messenger. 'Di ba? But, of course, ginawa na namin modern. So, ginawa na namin cart hero. Book a hero for today. Parang hero to deliver everything. Kasi, syempre, nung pandemic, yung safety protocols, very strict, 'di ba? So, ayan. Pero sa ngayon, hindi ko na siya naaasikaso because I let somebody else handle it for now. But ang tagal ko rin yun hinandle, like 4 years. Tsaka, since everything else normalized, these days, hindi na siya ganun ka in demand. Although, naging habit na rin na tinatamad na akong lumabas, pa-deliver na lang ako. Ganun din naman yung I'll also spend on gasoline. I'll also spend on the pamasahe if you don't have your own vehicle, right? So, less pagod pa. So, it's really, really convenient to just book a delivery, right? But it really depends on you. Kung ano sa tingin mo yung mas practical, to save time or to save money. So, it all depends on our priorities and our daily stuff. So, ayan, don't worry, we will be posting this naman. So, hindi nyo na kailangan picturean. Free time, holidays, transport, shopping, places to go in your free time. Your neighborhood, reading, sports and games. All these questions para lang makapag-start ng conversation. The examiner can ask you 3 to 5 other different questions depending on your answers or depending on the examiner. Yon. Sabi ko nga kanina, if makakapag-provide ka ng 3 to 4 sentences sa kada tanong, matagal yon, mahaba yon. So, it's more likely na kontian na lang ang mga tanong. Ngayon kapag paiksi-iksi lang yung sagot mo, dadamihan niyo yung mga tanong. Kasi nga, kailangan mong magsalita. Kailangan mong makonsume yung time mo sa pagsasagot. Alright? Task 2. I don't need to elaborate this anymore sa mga tao dito sa Zoom. But for the sake of those na hindi pa nakakapag one-on-one coaching, i-explain ko na sa inyo. Okay? So on task 2, you will be asked to talk about a certain topic. May main question and may bullet questions. Bibigyan ka ng pencil and a paper para gamitin as your scratch. And then, since virtual naman na yung interview, hindi na ibibigay yung task card sa'yo, kundi i-display na lang sa monitor. Okay? Now, if you gusto kong ipakita sa inyo yung sample kasi yung iba sa inyo, hindi pa nakapag one-on-one coaching. Wait lang. So these are examples of task 2. Yan. Say something about the school in elementary, high school, or college. Yung slash na ganyan, ibig sabihin yan, or. Mamimili ka kung elementary, high school, or college. Hindi lahat 2 minutes lang. You only have 2 minutes to talk. So you are not going to talk about all 3. You're just going to choose if elementary, high school, or college. So, you have to mention where is this located, what facilities are available. Facilities, and does it have a basketball court? Does it have a gym? Does it have a swimming pool? How this school is different from others. So, pwede mo sabihin that our school is accredited by, you don't have to be so technical. You can just say that it's different because it's a Christian school. And we value, don't talk about religion. How is this school different from others? Because of its number of buildings. So it can accommodate bigger number of students within a school year. That's why it's the most famous school in our hometown. Okay? What do you remember most about this school? Kung ano yung fondest or most memorable experience that you had. Okay. So remember, ito, na-encounter nyo na to? Hindi pa. Is this a question that I ask you? Kayo, hindi pa? So, ang sabi ko kanina, 1 minute for preparation and 2 minutes to talk. Kung akala nyo, maiksi lang yung 2 minutes, actually mahaba siya. At marami kang pwedeng sabihin. Practicein natin Ito yung 2 minutes. Tingnan natin. Describe what you will do if you receive a large sum of money. Now, if feeling mo, sobra ka pa sa oras, pwede mo naman dagdagan kahit wala dito sa tanong. But of course, you have to make sure that your answer is still relevant to the question. Hindi naman pwedeng biglang K-pop ang topic, right? Kasi ang tanong, large sum of money. Okay, let's see kung kaya natin ng 2 minutes. Gusto nyo i-try? Sige, huwag na ako na lang. Alright, 2 minutes. So, when you're at home, ipaprint nyo yung sinasend na, yung pinapost naming handouts, yung speaking questions. Paprint nyo yun. Sige, ilalagay ko mamaya sa link. Paprint nyo and then mag-practice kayo using your phone, record it. Okay, let's start. Receiving a large amount of money has its advantages and disadvantages. One advantage is I can buy a lot of the material things that I wish I could buy if I receive a large sum of money. But one of the disadvantages could be becoming too materialistic. All right? But of course, receiving a large sum of money would be a very good thing. Anyone would appreciate it. I would buy myself a new private vehicle. I am a very adventurous person, so I think I would like to buy myself a pickup truck. A pickup truck? Hindi yung, ano ba tawag sa Hilux? It's a pickup truck? Okay. So I like adventurous activities, so I would like to buy a pickup truck. Because we would love to go to mountainous areas in the Philippines. Definitely my family will benefit from this money because I can even use that sum of money to support the education of my brothers and sisters. I will definitely save for myself because we don't know if there will be any emergency that will happen or if we need to spend money for hospitalization in the future. So saving and investing money would be a smart way to use the large sum of money that I will receive. There is an orphanage that is quite in need of financial help. It's in our hometown, so I would donate some money in that orphanage. Ayan, 2 minutes. Diba? Ganun siya katagal yung 2 minutes. Kaya kailangan more. Speak more. Kasi akala natin maiksi lang 2 minutes, pero actually, pag magsasagot ka, kailangan marami kang masabi. Right? So, ayun. Ayan lang naman yung sample ng task card. Ay, hindi ko pala naipakita sa mga to. Sa mga nasa Zoom. Okay, sa mga nasa Zoom, ito yung itsura ng task card. Okay, ano ba ng Zoom? Okay, papakita ko na rin sa inyo yung iba pang task card. Describe your favorite sport. Tell something about two family members who have similarities. Ito, sobrang nalilito lahat dito eh. Say something about a kind neighbor. Describe something you own which is very important to you. Make sure that you are going to answer all the bullet questions. Wala kang pwedeng ma-miss out dyan. Because if you miss out one of the bullet questions, magkakaroon ka ng score deduction. Okay? So, yun. Ayan na. Okay. Okay, I already explained this earlier. You will be given 1 minute, and then sa scratch paper, isusulat nyo kung ano yung mga keywords. Huwag kayong magsulat ng sentences kasi halatang kinabisado nyo lang or may binabasa kayo. And that's not what the examiner wants. The examiner wants you to speak as natural as possible, as spontaneous as possible. Kaya naman, huwag magsusulat ng sentences at babasahin. Keywords lang. Kung sakali lang may makalimutan ka, biglang maaalala mo kasi sinulat mo yung keywords. Okay? You will need to speak for a minimum of 2 minutes to answer the task. Examiners usually get the task card from you before you start speaking. Pero it doesn't happen anymore. As I mentioned earlier, it will still be flashed on the screen all throughout task 2. Okay? Ayan pa pala yung mga sample ng task cards. Make sure that you have answered all the questions. Do not limit your answers to the questions, but do not digress. Meaning, kailangan stay relevant. T3 rule. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them. Okay. So, kung ano yung unang pumasok sa isip mo, yun na, yung isagot mo. Kasi, minsan, hindi ka makasagot kasi ang daming ideas. Simplify it. Okay? Kung ano yung unang pumasok sa isip mo, yun na yung sagot. Avoid generic introduction sa part 2. Today, I'm going to talk about, ito yung mga generic, or babasahin mo lang din yung nasa task, nasa question. So, yon, wag ganun yung intro nyo. Kagaya ng intro na ginawa ko kanina, gandahan nyo naman ng konti. Parang i-introduce nyo yung topic. Binibilisan ko na kasi wala na tayong oras eh. Task 3, the two-way discussion. Okay, unfortunately, task 3 is really difficult. Kasi yung mga questions dito, ang daming hindi na lang nakakasagot during the one-on-one coaching. Kaya minsan dinadalian ko na lang din yung mga tanong eh. Pero yung mga tanong kasi usually, what are the qualities of a businessman? Pag-isip ka ba agad nun? Simplihan mo na lang din. The businessman should be intelligent. The businessman should be good, a good leader, has good leadership skills, and the businessman should be people smart. Ganon, okay? So after mo sabihin yung qualities of a good businessman or entrepreneur, kailangan explain mo isa-isa and give examples. Reasons and examples. So sa task 3, dito mas mahaba kailangan yung mga sagot mo. Okay? And of course, as I mentioned earlier, questions here are even more difficult, such as may mga tanong na it's not, okay. Some individuals would like to share their problems to strangers instead of family and friends. Why do you think they are more open to sharing their problems to strangers? Have you ever experienced this? Tell us about your experience. Di ba medyo ang haba ng tanong? Pero kailangan masagot mo yun. So, bakit daw mas okay maglabas ng problema sa isang taong hindi mo kilala? Na-experience mo na ba yon? And then tell us about that experience. So, kailangan, i-explain mo talaga. Yes, I have experienced that. This was my experience, and this is my opinion. Okay? Isa-isa mong isasagutan lahat ng tanong na kahit ganun siya ka-complicated. Right? So you have to listen carefully. Now, if you need repetition, you can also do that. Sometimes questions are, ang natapat kasi sa aking tanong nung nag-exam ako, do you think world leaders, medyo nakaka-intimidate yung term, di ba? Do you think world leaders should maintain communication, an active communication? So, ang pagkakaintindi ko, kailangan bang nagbo-broadcast ng speech ang mga world leaders para ma-update ang mga tao? Yun yung pagkakaintindi ko. And then, kinorek ako ng examiner. Sabi niya sa akin, hindi magbo-broadcast ng TV or ng any live broadcast. Ang ibig niya sabihin, kung yung world leaders daw ba, dapat nag-uusap-usap ng madalas. So, di ba medyo malayo yung sagot ko? Kasi I didn't ask for repetition. Nag-assume ako, abstract nga yung mga tanong, meaning, medyo mahirap talaga. Okay? Ayan. Listen, ask for repetition, courtesy matters, answer immediately as soon as the question was asked. At saka, hanggat hindi pa nagtatanong ulit ng kasunod na tanong, just keep talking. Okay? But of course, you have to make sure na within the topic pa rin hindi yung kung ano na lang sasabihin. Always aim to expound. Okay, we don't have much time anymore, but I always tell this sa mga students, hindi pwedeng ang isasagot mo lang one word or phrase or one sentence. You have to explain. Always add more to your answer. Okay? When you're asked what's your favorite food, you just don't say ice cream. You have to say why ice cream is your favorite food. You can also say what flavor or the story behind it. Okay? Kaya nung lagi sinasabi ni Sir Kevin, my favorite food is ice cream because of its sweet flavor. And when I was a child, I would ask my mom to buy me ice cream. And parang may mga ganun siyang sinasabi. So, nagbigay siya ng konting background about his childhood, which is related to ice cream and why ice cream is his favorite food. Okay? So, meaning, you just need to expound it. Okay? All right, so we will be uploading a replay lecture on Wong Chong Group. And along with that are the links of these materials and the list of questions. If you have any questions, you may do so. I-end ko na yung Zoom live. I'll see you guys tomorrow sa coaching session. Please don't forget to attend and list your names here kasi first come, first serve po, 9 a.m. You can come early if you want to be enlisted first. Okay? All right. Bye.